As you can see, this is the Boba Fett, and I think he looks very good. His helmet, of course, is a bit updated from the old helmet. There's a bit more darker printing and a bit more printing in general, and I do think this is a very good minifigure. He, of course, has the antenna on here, which you can pull down like this one. He is flying because that's in canon, that's what it's supposed to do. He also has a sand green jetpack that matches the color of his helmet. He also has a very good pauldron right here, and I really wish they didn't include the angry clone face. He does have sand blue arms and light bluish gray hands, and he does have some armor plates, and then he has the braid thing. I don't know. He wasn't a Jedi. He also has like a thermal detonator kind of looking thing, which kind of it's interesting nonetheless. And he also has a lot of really nice leg printing, just some pockets and some armor. And then his blaster is not as good as the brick arms, but I could see a solid attempt at it. Now we're going to go into the second minifigure. Now this is our first Zuckuss minifigure we've ever gotten, and I think this looks like a very cool and unique figure. Of course, I really like this gun design, how they have these two pieces, it's like they were made for each other. And he does have a really good molded head, and you can kind of see it a bit, how it works, like any Star Wars head. And I don't know what species he is, but it looks like there's a kind of like a microphone kind of designed to his eyes. And then he has a pretty brainy kind of detailing in the back, and the printing on his torso look very good. These match up with his little tusk things, and then he has some plates on the back. He also has a dress piece, and then some more armor on the back with that continued design. Right here we have 4-LOM, who kind of looks like a bug. Definitely not Just Too Good. This is evil Just Too Good, but he has kind of a protocol droid design here. It kind of reminds me of just C-3PO, just different colors, like a dark metallic gray or like a metallic black. But as you can see, he also has the long Star Wars rifle piece, and his head is a lighter metallic with a kind of bronze plating here, which I really wish they would bring that color back. Like, I remember back in the old days they used to make bronze Lego pieces, which I don't have any, which I wish that I did, but they, like, obviously they have the paint for it if they could dual mold it into a head mold, but I think they should bring back bronze. So I'm just gonna put I'm gonna put a hashtag in this video, bring back bronze. So yeah, you could see just the plating on his torso, and then there, and then the leg printing, not very special. Now let's just go into Han Solo. Here we have our favorite scruffy looking nerf herder, and this is Han Solo. He has a very nice face print, which looks very serious. He also has a really nice hairpiece, which was one of my favorite hairpieces of all time, actually. It just looks very nice, and this is also one of my favorite Star Wars minifigures of all time. As you can see on the back of his head, he has a kind of happier looking face, and I think that looks very nice. He also has a jacket on with some subtle black printing, nothing really, just a bunch of pockets. And then he has that one problem that most minifigures have these days, which is light printing, like a skin tone printing on dark torso prints or head prints or whatever. Hopefully not leg prints. If you get that joke. He has a white shirt, which also suffers from the same issue, and then he has some black printing on his back. And as you can see here, he also has dark brown pants, which has a belt, and then his blaster holster. And I really wish they just made a new actual blaster for Han Solo that, like, it doesn't look very good. So let's just make this a bit better, actually. There we go, that looks a lot nicer. So as you can see, we have a good Han Solo. And yeah, that's it for this minifigure. Now let's go to the 20th anniversary Leia. We have the classic Leia, and she has the ultimate blaster piece. Just get rid of stud shooters. I would be fine if they put these in a set instead of stud shooters. It's just a lot better. She has the bun hair piece, which is very iconic. And then also she has the 20th years of LEGO Star Wars logo on the back, which looks very nice. She also has a face print, and I guess there's no back face print because they didn't have that back then. But yeah, she has red lips, which it's like really simple back then. in the day with the face printing. As you can see, she has a white torso with some detailing on her shirt, and then some silver printing right here. Also just plain white. It's basically as plain as it can get, but very nostalgic. This says the same exact thing as all the other ones. It just says Princess Leia, which makes it unique. And yeah, now let's just get into the build. So this is the 20th anniversary Slave One, and this is a beautiful model. It's very heavy. You can pick it up from about any point, and there is also a very useful carrying handle in the back, which you just put your hand around it like this, and you could hold it. It is about 3 pounds, which is not very heavy, but like Lego wise, it's generally heavy, and it's probably one of the most like secure Lego sets I've seen in a while. Like just it puts itself together very well. There's a Technic infrastructure, especially around this area, that's extremely strong, and there would be parts you'd think would be flimsy, like this part here, but it's really not. I could pick it up from here. The entire thing up here, from here, rip the minifigures. Also, they have these big slopes up here, the quarter donut pieces, and I think it looks pretty nice. Also, I think this might be a new color. I'm not too sure. It's very nice. It's like a dark orange color, so that seems very good. If I just move these minifigures out of here, that would be helpful. But this also pops off very easily, and there is just one plate right here. It's just so that it doesn't like just slide off or something if you're swooshing it around. And speaking of swooshability, it is extremely swooshable. I could just pick it up from here, and it's very swooshable. Oh, just almost knocked down my light. So it's very swooshable. Obviously, I'll show you in the back here. So they're just engines. It doesn't do anything to support the model. Like, yeah, I guess it keeps it up standing. Also, there's clips where you could clip Boba Fett's weapon or Han Solo's weapon. So and I'll get to that in a second. So over here, he has the little ramp, which you cannot fit a minifigure in here. Just scaling wise, like this is not minifigure scale. I would say this is about 0.75 minifigure scale. So it's like 3/4 of the scale would be 1-to-1 scale, and it's not the Slave One, the UCS Slave One. Sorry, I would say it's about 1.5-to-1 scale wise. So there's no perfectly scaled Slave One model at all yet. So as you can see, we also have, get him out. He's really hard to count. We have Han Solo and Carbonite, the piece, and I really wish they made an updated version of this because, of course, as you could see, the Han Solo minifigure that I showed before, he has a different hairpiece, and it doesn't really work very well. Like, yeah, it works fine, but if you do that, you could see his hair sticking out on the back. Like, I guess it would anyways, but just doesn't look very good. And since it doesn't really stick in well here, it just doesn't really work. But you could put it in here, which I do have a little problem with this now. Before I showed you, I was trying to get it out, and it took very long to try to get it out. That's one problem with this. And also, whenever you're swooshing it around, this tends to, if you're like swooshing around, it does like this or something, or just goes up, because it always just wants to move. It doesn't. The only thing that's keeping this down is gravity. It's like very loose, and I even took this off. I don't recommend you doing that. And tried to push it in a bit more, and nothing really worked. So just don't take all this stuff out, because you'll just have to rebuild it like another 15 minutes, which is not very time efficient. But anyways, you can see there's some dark light gray around here. Also, these pieces I believe are new. I don't know if I said that already. These work very well. I really like how they pulled this off. So so you saw before how it goes down like this, and then when you push it back up when it's in like flight mode, the gravity basically just pushes this down, which works really well. You'd think this would be flimsy, which it kind of is, but it can't break off. Like, I would just pull a lot, and it's not even coming off. So as you can see, there's some stickers right here, and this also can move a little bit, not much though. I just keep it like this. And there's just these tooth pieces here. Also, there's a bar that attaches to this like kind of arm to the hand, if I guess, of the Slave 1, and it's also symmetrical on the other side. These are basically symmetrical except like some weathering effects, but also there are some stickers on right here, and you could see a bit more into the cockpit. So I'm just going to remove this, and there is a little printed control panel that you've seen a lot more now, and the same thing does with that. So you could see it goes up like that when I move it like that, and it works really well. And the minifigure never gets in the way. As you also see, there's some stickers in here, and on the back it's a bit different. It shows the Slave 1 thing here. You can see the shaping. Now if I just put this back, as you can see, they have the gold bar piece and in light bluish gray, and also there's just a lot of sand green out here, which I really like. I think they kind of went overboard with the sand green, but it looks okay. Also, right here you have some grill pieces with the corner circle tile. Also, you have the guns that actually rotate around like this, and also you have a sand green toothpiece, which I believe might be exclusive, I'm not too sure, on pieces, but looks really nice. They move around very well. Of course, you can't make, well, you can kind of make it 360, but you kind of have to push it you have to push it in a bit more after you do that. And this is a very good model. I would say this has to be one of my favorite LEGO Star Wars sets of all time, and that I own as well, because I don't own a lot of Star Wars sets. Well, I own a lot, but I don't own like over 50% of them. I own probably like 20. But anyways, I think this is a great model. I definitely recommend you picking this one up. Of course, the retail price, $120, it's okay. Like, there are some big pieces like this piece, the cockpit piece, and then a bunch of pieces over here, but I do think that is very worth it. It's a very good model, and of course it comes with 5 minifigures, and that none of them are there's a few that are exclusive. Technically this Princess Leia is exclusive because she does have this, and she doesn't come in any other set, and I also do have the other ones, as you can see here, and you kind of attach them. But this is a very, very good model, and I think that you should pick this up. And without further ado, I'm just going to end the video. That is it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. This is, as I said many times already, this is one of my favorite LEGO Star Wars sets, because there's so many reasons. And oh, actually, speaking of, there are flick fire missiles, because you saw before these, I just remembered, and you just flick them up like that. Okay, so that is it for this video, guys. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you next video.